Good morning. Let me know when I should start. I think we are waiting for Hari, right?
Yeah, he's joining. I think we can start. I just
Okay.
messaged him. Yeah, Hari is here.
Okay. Okay. So I was a bit late today because one homework came in 3 minutes before the call. So I was kind of going through that. If you can send it the previous night, that would be helpful. Uh, so also, Sundar and Murali are putting it on the Google Drive. I'm requesting everybody to do the same. Okay. Can you please do the same from now on? So you put it on the Google Drive and send me a link.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll talk about the fraction multiplication division first and then go into the divisibility rules. Now, multiplication part I think is more or less okay for most people. Uh, However, certain things could be done better. So, for example, if you look at this, okay, here up to here it is fine. Okay, you can kind of see the crossover, overlap, here. Okay, you can see the overlap here to an extent. However, this should have come here. Okay, having it here does not help. You need, and these two also should have been side by side. Or I don't know. I mean, this picture is not making too much sense to me because of the alignment. Okay, so please be careful on that. This picture makes no sense at all. Okay, 3/4 is 3/2 is fine, but then you should not be having two of these, maybe just one. And from here, how do you get here? It is not clear at all. So this kind of picture is not going to be helpful at all. Okay. However, there were some pictures which were really nice. See, for example, these were very nicely done. So this one I am not too fond of. Ideally, there should have been another box or another 1/4 here, and so that you get three bunches of 4/3. That would have been ideal, but still, but the rest are really nice. This is very good. Same here. See, it's very, very clear how you are getting the
It's not
12
it's
on the
not
pic.
updating for me. The screen is
Oh, hang
still
on.
on the
Sorry.
thing.
My bad. My bad. Can you
Yeah.
see that?
Yeah. This one.
Yeah. So this one, it should have been all the greens along one line, all the yellows along one line. So basically, it should have been 4 1/3 here and same here, so that you know it's 3 times 4/3. That would have been ideal. This is very nicely done. Same here, very clear. So you can see where the 12 is. This 3 3 3, or so you can see the where this is very clear. Again, this one is something I really like. It's, you can think of this as an overlap. Okay, if you superimpose these two, and that's what you get, and then you remove the fringes. Okay, so this is very nicely done. Okay, same way the rest goes. Okay. So very nicely done. This last picture, in both, they are not super important. I mean, here it worked out because you had a 3 here and a 3 here, but it may not work out always. Okay, this was the improper time improper, where the color scheme has changed, but that doesn't matter. I mean, the same thing goes on. Okay, so this is an example of very good visual. Okay, now please remember that the visual is not very important. It is there to make sense of what is happening. It is not there as a feel good thing and whatever goes like that. It is there for an important purpose, and therefore certain orientations are very important. Because you may already know how to do this stuff. You may be doing the calculation in your head and then drawing the picture, but it is supposed to happen the other way. The calculation emerges from the picture. Okay, so there is a bit of unlearning and relearning that needs to happen here. For some of you that has happened, but for some it has not. So those of you need to work on it. Okay, however, division turned out to be more complicated than this. Okay, some people have done a good job with division. For example, uh, in this case, all pictures exactly match with uh, the working and everything. So this is generally very nicely done. There is one error that I found, and that is, okay. I think it's a careless mistake. You see, so when you are dividing by a non-unit fraction, there are two steps. You have to first find out how much is there in each portion of the plate. That part is done correctly, and it is written well, and you can see 1/12 in each portion. That part is fine. Step 2 is finding how much is there in one plate. So this is fine, 1/12 times 3. But when you have 3 1/12, how much is that?
It's 1/4.
Exactly. So this should have been 1/4.
Yeah.
That's
It's
the
mistake.
yeah, that's I think a careless mistake or something. But otherwise, this was very nicely done. And Vasant also asked a question about reduced fraction. We will come to that. Okay,
Yes.
that's a very good question, very important question. And we will come to that. Okay. Now, in this one, initially things were good, but there are two examples which I could not make sense of. See, this 4 divided by 2/3, this makes sense. 2/3 of the plate is shaded. 4 is divided equally among those 2/3, okay? And then the plate is filled accordingly. So you can see that the 4 has been divided by 2 and then multiplied by 3, okay? So this is clear. However, this picture is not clear to me at all. 2/3 divided by 2/3. This is what you usually do. But how does that make sense with respect to picture?
No, I was lost. I didn't know what to do in that one.
Okay, so
I was
let's
lost.
discuss
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. I was lost.
Yeah. So if you have 2/3 divided by 2/3, then first of all you take the whole plate. Okay. And this is the 2/3 plate where you have to put 2/3. So step 1, you need to divide 2/3 by 2. So when you do that, you will get 1/3 for each, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now once you get that, all of them have to be filled the same way. So this will also get another 1/3. So
Yeah.
total we get 3 1/3. And that will turn out to be 1, as we know, right? So this is how you tackle 2/3 divided by 2/3. Okay. Now similarly, if this was, instead if this was 2 divided by 1/3, sorry, 2 divided by 2/3, then it would have been a similar case, right? We will have the plate divided into 1/3. Okay, and let's pick these two. So step 1 would be 2 divided by 2. So that will give us 1. So we get 1 in each. And therefore, we put one more here. So together we have 3 1s. Okay. Did this make sense now?
The second step is a little confusing.
See, first you figure out if you have to split 2
How?
and equally, and you have to place in these 2 parts.
Okay, yeah, I got it.
Right? So you place 1 in each. That's 2 divided by 2. The remaining part of the plate you have to fill in the same way. So that should also get 1. So total you get 3.
Yeah.
However, is in one part multiplied by 3. Is it clear now?
Yeah.
Okay. See, the crucial thing is the numerator of the divisor, okay, that is there. Though that many portion of the plate is what needs to be occupied first with the dividend. So that is why we are dividing by that numerator. Okay. And then, so that helps us get how much is going to be there in one portion of the plate. Once we get it, then we have to now fill the entire plate. So then we know that there are so many parts of the plate, and each part is going to have whatever this number has. So we multiply. Okay. That's the whole idea.
Swati, can you explain 2 by 5 divided by 2 by 3?
Yes. 2 by 5 divided by
2 by 3.
2 by 3. Okay. So again, so let's say this is the 2/3 of the plate, right? And you have to place 2/5 in these parts equally. So how much will come in each part?
One-fifth.
Correct. And how did we get that 1/5?
We are dividing 2/5 by the 2.
Right. So we divided 2/5 by 2, right? So now this remaining 1/3 of the plate will get how much?
Same 1/5.
The same one.
What is the number?
1 by
1/5. Okay. So then this gives us 1/5. How much is there in one part? So total there is going to be 3 parts, right?
yes, 3 by
So we multiply this by 3. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
If you want me to do another example, we can do that. Are you able to see how the picture is matching the work?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because that is super important. Without that, it is not going to work. See,
Swati, can you explain the same problem using chocolate plate method?
including is, I did chocolate plate only.
Oh, so you without saying chocolate and plate, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I didn't say chocolate and plate.
Okay.
But see, I drew the plates, and
Yes.
this 1/5 is the chocolate.
Chocolate, okay.
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 See, this will not consist of a homework because you have just done the math, no picture, nothing. Okay. So this is incomplete. And the multiplication part was also missing. Are you able to hear me clearly now?
It's I don't know. Maybe my internet is slow.
Okay.
It just goes blur and comes back. Goes and comes back.
Yeah. Okay. See, in this case, some of the pictures are good, but not all. This one makes sense. Okay, so in half you put 4 and then you fill it up. Okay. But I kind of got lost here. I was not sure if these lines are to shade it or to mean something. Okay, so I got a bit confused here. What does this 4 in each represent? I'm not sure. Because if I go by this picture, then the whole plate has 16, which is not the answer. When you're dividing 3 by 3/4, 3 needs to be divided equally into these 3. Okay, and because of the shading, it is very difficult to see actually how many parts are there. So this is not a good idea of shading. Okay, this is clearer. Okay, you can clearly see how many parts. 8 has to be divided into 4 parts, which is done. So each part gets 2. Okay, but then I'm not understanding this example. Where is this coming from? This you are basically doing it in your head. You have flipped the fraction and you have used the standard. It's not going with the picture. Okay, if it goes with the picture, then it should have been 2 times 3 here and then the 6. You see the difference?
Yes.
Yeah. So some of you may need to rework this, and as adult learners, it is your job to seek clarification. Okay, so some of you need to rework the division part in in particular. Multiplication is more direct. Division is kind of reverse of that, etc. So subtraction, division are always more difficult than addition and multiplication. So definitely spend time with the fraction division part if you want to understand what is happening. Okay. Okay. Now there is this question of what to do in terms of reducing fractions. So let's take an example. Yeah. So the example that we can deal with is 3/4 times 5 by 6. Okay, so we have 3/4 times 5 by 6. So So that's 3/4. Now let's get 5/6. So that's 5/6. So this is the portion, okay, where it is, okay. This is the portion where it is doubly shaded. Okay. Now the question is how to reduce it. Now the square model where everything is drawn doesn't quite allow the what should I say? Allow the reduction part so well. However, if you instead use the discrete model coupled with this, then it might help a bit. So think about I'm going to kind of draw a similar array. I wish this allowed copy paste. Yeah, but anyway. It does not allow. You know what? I'm going to use a PPT because I think that will be faster. Let me just. Okay. So this is the picture that we have. Okay. And now we are going to make a discrete version of this. So this is similar to this part, 3 by 5. Okay. And let's add few more to complete the whole array. Okay. So this one looks similar to this. The cells has been replaced by circles. Now, in this case, we can do something. So this is basically our product, right? That's our product. Now, what we can try to do is, there are 15 here, and this is total 24. We can try and see if some of these can come here. Okay. So we can rearrange and see if a different array is possible. Okay, so I had grouped this. Okay, so let's see if we move this. No, this doesn't help, right?
The reverse order, Swati. You have to put the white down.
Huh? Yeah.
The
So
reverse. You have to take the top two white and put it there. The bottom.
top two white, these two. So basically the idea is to rearrange it so that one portion, it is split like this. So
Vertically.
the idea is to split it so that it looks like it either, oops, sorry, it either looks like this, okay, or it looks like this. Okay, that's what we need to do. Okay, I'm just trying to see if I have made any errors. which I doubt I have done.
We can take the first two one and put it the bottom, and the second two one. Like that, if we take, we can get the 5/8 first row, 5/8 second row, 5/8 third row, 5.
Okay, no, I think there is one more thing that is going on here. So yeah, I think instead of rearranging these, we can probably rearrange these. Yeah. Yeah, this will do. Yeah, I was going about the other way. Yeah, so if we do it this way,
Also, first thing
yeah,
is 5/8. Yeah, correct.
then you can say it's in this font. And so, you know, how many columns doesn't make sense. It's basically a 5 out of 8, right? But it is difficult to do that in square because you can't rearrange the pieces like that in a drawing. But in a discrete model, you can do that. So this, as I said, the square model is extremely powerful, very, very powerful. This is the only thing it can't do. This is where the discrete does a brilliant job. Okay. And I mean, to an extent, it's a bit of trial and error, you can say. I don't know if, basically, again, if you have a sense of numbers, that essentially helps. Okay. But you see the shape of the hole changes when you do this. Okay. So this is how you can get to reduction.
Okay, Sati, now I understand.
Reducing fractions. The reducing fractions cannot be dealt with the square model, as you can see, because the square changes into a rectangle. What you can possibly do is, once you get this part, pieces and then rearrange them. That will kind of bridge the square and the discrete also. Okay. So the square model helps you get that this is square model equal to 3 times 5, 4 times 6. Okay. But when you are trying to get from this step to 5 by 4 times 2, you know, that part the square cannot deal with. So I would suggest you split up the two, deal with them separately using two separate models. I mean, the reducing, you can think of doing that. Like you can take examples like, let's say, 18 out of 24, and see what will it become when you reduce. Do many such exercises and build it up, and you can use the discrete model for that. And then you can use that understanding to reduce this further. Does this help?
Yes, Swati.
So, yeah, these two cannot be, done together. Place of, you get them to cut up the pieces and then rearrange them. That's of course possible. So, yeah, so that is that. Now, some people have not. Hope you got it, but trust me, no, and you will not get the fun of doing it also. Okay. So, as somebody said, math is not a spectator sport. You have to do it to get it, to understand and have fun with it. Okay. So, uh, yeah. Okay. Now, before going into divisibility rules, I want to mention one thing. I'm still waiting for State Board Class 6 syllabus. Not sure if I've missed it, but I don't remember getting it. Can we please get it like by tomorrow? The State Board one.
Madhavan,
Yeah, I'm aiming.
Yeah, I haven't got it yet.
upload it to the drive and send Swati a link, Madhavan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, I'm waiting for that because otherwise it's difficult to plan and go forward with these.
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Now let us take a look at the textbooks. If I remember correctly, NCERT chapter 3, right?
Yes, Swati.
Okay. Can anybody remember state textbook, which term and uh, which chapter?
Hello.
Hello?
What did he ask for?
In the state textbooks, Tamil Nadu textbooks,
Huh?
which chapter, which term and which chapter deals with divisibility rules? If you had done your homework, you should have known that.
In eighth, term 1, 1.36 is something.
Hello.
Swati is not in the call.
Okay. Sundar, can you check?
Hello, what happened?
She's not on the call. She may drop. Hello. Oh,
Yes, she said she's joining. She lost connection. WhatsApp, she put message.
okay. Sundar, is it there in the 8th standard textbook?
Uh, she asked for divisibility, right? Fractions.
Divisibility rule.
Divisibility
Rule.
rule. Rule.
Oh,
Actually, in CBSE 6th standard, maybe 3rd chapter talks about that.
In CBSE.
okay. I'll just pull your book and see how it is. Maybe then I will be able to see. So you're saying it might be in lower grade, huh?
Yeah, should be lower. Maybe
Okay, okay.
This is 6th or 7th.
Madhavan, can you
6th
check
or
yours? Madhavan Puri.
Yeah, it's in third term.
Yeah.
Okay, chapter?
First chapter.
Okay. You just
Fraction.
yeah, just try send a message in the group.
Divisibility rule.
Vasanth, why did you say 6th standard and
And third chapter now, playing with number CBSE.
CBSE? If I go inside, it looks different. But FP, MH, 14, 13 numbers
No,
are
it's
different.
no, it's there. It's there.
Which one is it?
6th standard, 3rd chapter.
FEMH 1003.
One not that is what I understood.
Vasanth, can you share your screen?
Yes, sir. For state board also, it is in a term 2. 6th term 2 is there in state board.
6th term to
Page number. It's page number 7. Okay, I will share my screen.
hey, all the books are not uploaded for state board. Kindly first upload all your term 1, term 2, term 3 books. Vasanth, you are sharing your screen?
Uh, This is state board book now. Still it is there, I'll talk about it.
Okay.
State board, it is in chapter 3. Oh, sorry, CBSE in chapter 3.
State board book is not there in the drive. No?
It's in the second term, first chapter. Rules for the test of divisibility of numbers.
Is it there in the drive?
Yeah.
It needs to be uploaded to the drive. I don't see.
Okay.
I send a link for that Tamil Nadu state book, sir.
Okay.
Just check.
Yeah, Vasanth, I got it.
Page number 7.
Hi, I'm back.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Sorry, network was not good today. It just gave way. Anyway, so let's get started with this. So as I was saying that this not this, hang on. Yeah, this activity of finding factors and multiples, factors is very, very powerful and has a lot of potential. A lot of things can be done with it. So when you think of multiples, one way to think of multiples would be to think of the tables. So if you are considering multiples of 7, think of the numbers you get in the table of 7. Okay, and that's exactly what the Tamil Nadu textbook is doing. Okay, so they look at the multiplication table and that are the multiples. Okay, the other thing is you can think of in terms of Ganitmala, the numbers you can generate with the catcher, those are the multiples. Okay, now what is important is to remember that the multiples are always going to be equal or larger. Okay, so that's very important. On the other hand, when you come to factors, okay, when you come to factors, then this activity is very, very important. So you think of any number, let's say 10. You pick up 10 counters, 10 tables, or 10 buttons, something like that, and then use as many ways as possible. And so you can if you have 6, you can arrange them like this, right? Now when you do that, the number of columns, or then see that all of the factors came in. If you consider the number of columns, you get 1, 2, 3, and 6. Okay, and if you had considered the rows, you will get 6, 3, 2, 1. In any case, you get all the possible factors that are. Now, from here, a lot of very interesting stuff can be generated. In particular, yeah. So first of all, multiples are greater than, okay, I don't think I can get that symbol. Maybe I should do the PPT since I started on a PPT. Let me do that. Okay, so multiples are, I get to insert the symbol. I'll just use Word, and yeah, Word may be better. Increase font size. Okay. Okay, and before that, come from the multiplication table. Okay. Okay, this may be too large. Let me reduce it a little bit. Okay. And then for factors,
Swati, we are unable to see your screen.
oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Factors, arrange the given number of counters in rectangular array, number of rows or columns, give you the factors. Okay, so you get that factors are less than equal to the given number. So one important thing that comes out from here is also important is there is no upper bound to multiples. Okay, this is important. Okay, on the other hand, there are only finite number of factors. Okay, and in fact you know that 1 is a factor of all numbers, so those are important things. Now when you make these arrays, consider number of possible arrays. Okay, so for 1 you get only 1, right? For 2, how many possible arrays are there?
1 into 2 and 2 into
2, right? For 3, how many possible arrays?
2.
2,
2. 4,
3.
3,
correct. 5,
2.
2,
6,
4.
yeah. 7,
2.
8,
4.
4,
yeah. 9,
3.
3,
yeah. 10,
4.
11,
2.
12,
5. 6.
yeah. So as you go through it, look at the ones which have 2 arrays, exactly 2 arrays.
What are the prime numbers?
prime numbers.
Exactly. Now this is a nice way of excluding 1. Is 1 a prime number?
No, sir.
Why is 1 not considered a prime number? Any idea?
It's divisible by itself. And
No, the thing is, if we consider 1 as prime number, then a very important theorem, an important thing goes away. See, there is something called unique prime factorization. Okay, so if you have any number, let's say 24, it can be written as 2 times, sorry, okay, and this is unique. Once you order the prime factors, this is unique. Okay, there is no two way about it. This is the only way you can write it. Once you order the factors, small to large. However, if you allow 1 to come in as a prime factor, then that would be this, and it would be etc. Right? So this uniqueness is gone the moment you allow 1 to be prime number. So that's a problem. Okay. So that is why we cannot let 1 to be a prime number. This is for you, not for the children. Okay. Now, not for all children, so to speak. Okay. Once they get into prime factorization, etc., then you can talk about that, not before that. So to start with, this thing of exactly 2 possible arrays works out very nicely. Okay. So you can say that numbers with exactly 2 possible arrays are primes. Now notice the number of possible arrays are also related to number of possible factors. Can you see that?
Yes, Swati.
Yeah. So when you are saying the number with exactly 2 possible arrays, you are not contradicting the standard definition. Okay. A prime number has exactly 2 factors, 1 and itself. Okay. So there are different ways of defining prime numbers. You can start by saying numbers greater than 1. Okay. But in any way, whatever you do, you need to make sure that 1 is not one of them. Okay. Now here is something I want to leave you with. Look at the numbers which have an odd number of arrays. Okay. And you may want to continue this for a little bit longer. So number of
X square.
exactly. Now why is that? Okay. So there are 2 ways of going about it. You have to, I mean, one is very straightforward. Another, you utilize prime factorization and so on and so forth. Okay. But it is quite possible, powerful. Also, there is a link between the prime factorization and this number of possible arrays, etc. So we can get into that later. But for now, this is also kind of interesting. Okay, so I want you to think of why this is the case. Okay, so this is the task. Okay, now after this, of course, you get into the prime factorization, and let me see if any of the books use that. Yeah, this is the sieve of Eratosthenes. Okay, then it gets into divisibility. Okay. Okay, then yeah, so this arrays come in. The sieve Hi. Sorry. Connectivity has been pretty bad. Okay. So I don't think we can get too much into the divisibility rule. We will do that next time. What I want you to do is this. Take a 10 by 10 grid. One second. Okay. So take a 10 by 10 grid like this. Okay. And make say 6-7 such grids, and let's say you want to look at multiples of 3, then color all the numbers which are multiples of 3. Okay, now once you do that, certain patterns will come up. Okay, and once you get that pattern, it makes sense to derive the divisibility rule, get into the divisibility rule from there. Okay, so this is going to be, I mean, this is very easy to generate on a spreadsheet. Okay, and so task one was why odd number of arrays gives you square numbers, and task 2 will be color, make this 10 by 10 grid of 1 to 100 and color the multiples of 2, 3, 5, 9, 10, and 11. This is must. So you don't do it in one grid. Okay. Each in a separate grid. Okay. Also, if you want, look at 4, 6, 8, 7. Okay, the remaining numbers, so to speak. So if you want, you can look at the remaining ones. Okay, and I think that's the remaining ones, right? 4, 6, 8, 7. Yeah. So this is optional, but if you do that, it will be helpful. So once you do that, then we will discuss this on Wednesday. Now, these are a must. Okay. Once you do this, certain things will pop out, and then we can discuss the divisibility rule on Wednesday. Today the network wasn't great, so yeah, that definitely ate up quite a bit of time. Okay, so these are the two tasks, and then we are going to discuss a bit on LCM, HCF, etc. Okay, some related stuff regarding that, and then I think next week we will get back to integers. Okay, so that's it for today, and that's almost time. Okay. Did you get both the tasks?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's it. See you then. Bye.
Yeah. Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, Swati.
Bye.